Hello everyone, my name is Seth Ledford and I will be presenting Chaco's brand Audit. This is Chaco Incorporated, the beloved sandal brand that many people have come to love in the most recent years. It's become a popularity trend of a lot of consumers, but let's just jump into it. So Chaco was introduced in 1989 by a rafting guide named Mark Pagan. Now, see, Pagan was unsatisfied with the amount of hours he was spending in the water, that his shoes were not holding up anymore. His shoes were decrepit, and he was just constantly living with wrinkled feet. So, in a determination to find a better sandal, he just ended up creating his own. And that was because of the other brands that like Tevas and Alps that were popular back in the 1980s. They were just not living up to the standard in which he wanted for himself. So Pagan first experimentally designed his own sandal for himself, carving out pieces of plastic and coming together and putting that together, and created the first quote-unquote Chaco. And through his own river tours, people would ask him, hey, what kind of gear do you have? And this would derive in him saying, well, I have these sandals I created for myself, and they keep my feet dry, they don't use Velcro straps, they don't rub, and they're just overall a better design for the things that we're going to be doing here in the water. And since that rafting business really wasn't holding him up, he decided, well, this is becoming very popular among the people that I'm giving tours to, so I might as well just go into my own business. And that desire and that experimenting led him to create Chaco's, the very popular sandal brand. And so he decided that fabricating them all individually, which is what he originally did, was not being successful. So he came through different molds and decided that these shoes needed to go into bulk processing. And this is what derives it to be a different kind of shoe, because you can make them in bulk batches while still keeping the quality there. And so through consulting podiatrists and podorthists, they came up with the final concept being the Z1. And so this is what the Z1 originally looks like. As you can see, the Z strap, it's not really tied in well, but the Z strap concept, in which the shoe has design here, and then it comes across here and here. And so the straps hold the foot in place while also giving a comfortable at every unique level, because each strap is tightenable. That was Chaco's big thing, was that they could fit every form of shoe that's designed to any form of foot. And so through this, the company has distinguished itself greatly and significantly from other brands, in which you can only tighten the straps to make it tighter on your foot or to be looser on your foot. Chaco does this by having the most comfortable wear, and that's because of its strap system. That's 360 degrees, revolutionary. And they even come in different colors to fit needs, and they have different... see, this is my personal shoe, and the toe strap is different than this toe strap over here. And it just is to each wearer's foot. That personality that each foot has is what distinguished Chaco so greatly from every other sandal company at the time, and still today. No one has mimicked this idea. So we'll get into a little bit more of the brand audit stuff. Is that in 1989, Pagan created it. He was the founder, the CEO of Chaco. And the startup greatly built a foundation. But whenever the foundation grew to be too much for Pagan, in 2009 they sold the company to Wolverine Worldwide. And Wolverine Worldwide is a huge company that specializes in trail shoes and other outdoor groups. And it's found in integrity and dedication for making consumers comfortable design shoes that are not only comfortable but functional in the outdoor world. So Chaco does this in many different ways by creating many different products. They start off with the sandals. This is their main product. It's Pagan's obsession for improving the concept of sports sandals was the whole reason the company was founded. They're durable, comfortable, and functional. They furthered themselves into a more outdoorsy kind of shoe, but also relaxing kind of shoe whenever they came out with flip-flops and slides. Many people are going towards that if they're not looking for a comfortable form-fitting shoe, because it just allows for the comfortability to be there more than the functionality. They also have closed-toed shoes that Chaco has more recently come out with, in boots. And boots are the ones that is extremely distinguishable by gender. There are way more boots for women than there are men, but that's just mainly because there's more of a market for women there. And Chaco has acknowledged this market and seen a profit come to that market. And so within their brand, their entire brand, the companies come through with some other initiative forms and innovative forms for leading and distinguishing their company from other sandal companies. And that's through the Re-Chaco initiative, through the personalization initiative that they have, the Gecko logo. Everyone knows them by the Z straps that everyone can distinguish. Oh, you're wearing Chacos. And if they can't distinguish it through that, and you don't have their shoes on, you get these Z tan lines. People can notice you through that. So it's just another marketing initiative that the company has, and has undergone to market themselves without having to make huge advertisements. And so this is because they can spare the advertisements by opening up their price, and that's where a lot of people get a little further off with Chaco, is that they on average are $110 to $130, and people and consumers say, well, this is way too much for a shoe that doesn't have a lot of material on it, but you're really paying for the quality of the product. And this is because Chaco has consistently come up with new ideas to revolutionize the foot and how the foot is comfortable. And this is through their Chaco grip on the bottom. See, they've developed their own customizable grip that makes the ground grip it for more durability, for better hikes. And even their footbeds, which, as you can see the foot outline of mine. I've worn mine to death. But these are called love seats. And this not only provides a contoured arch for the product, which grips your foot well, but also doesn't wear down because it's made of polyurethane plastic. And so this has allowed the shoe to hold its durability, to hold its dependability in long, extreme conditions. And even if the shoe wears out, they have created a way that you can just go in, send your shoe back, and they can fix the shoe, they can alter the shoe, whatever is need be, through the Re-Chaco process, which is still found in Colorado. And so this gets me to a little bit of the distribution portion of our audit, is that Chaco distributes everything through Delta, Colorado. They recently had to move out of their manufacturing in Colorado because they got too big. They were too popular. So they moved to China, where they can more easily create shoes, easily manufacture them, and they're also cheaper this way. Now, a lot of people haven't seen this yet because it's a very recent initiative, relatively to the time frame that we're in. But they still use different chain and local retailers if you want to go to an actual store, try the shoes on. But you can find them everywhere on the internet. That's how they do a lot of their marketing, is through internet and internet sales. And this gets me into communication and advertising and ambassadors. So they run a lot of different promotions, like the Keep the Great in the Great Outdoors, the You're One of a Kind, your Chacos should be too, Repair, Reuse, Rechacos. See, all of these things are building the brand community and understanding the brand, and understanding the things that the brand has to offer. And so through this advertising, Chaco can build what brand equity that they have through their consumers. And so they don't use ambassadors, they don't use a lot of sports and things, but they use a lot of collabs, what they call it, or collaborations with other brands. And so the most recent one that they're doing is with the Fat Tire, and it allows for their company to profit from Chaco's and Chaco to get consumers through the brand ties that it has. And so they also do a lot of things with charitable foundations. So like Camber Outdoors elevates women's leadership, Conservation Alliances fund habitats and recreational things in the community. And then finally, the American Camp Association is what allows Chaco to get a lot of youth and tie entailment and pulls them together. And so, consumers usually define the brand as outdoorsy, quality, rugged, comfortable. But the thing that throws a lot of consumer off, like I said earlier, is that they're expensive. And that's what you're going to find whenever the brand is tied into different associations. This can then lead to, what competitors are doing. How are competitors differentiating themselves, or how is Chaco differentiating themselves from competitors? And that's through the basic design. Number one, their product is just better, and that's more quality products, more distinguishable products, and they've developed, like I said, the quality of their product through themselves. They don't outsource anything. They come through with new ideas like the My Chacos and the Rechacos initiatives that have revolutionized the brand. And no other company is going through. You can create your own Chaco. You can create your own sandal. No other company has matched that yet. Tevas and Keen's are the two main competitors that Chaco has, and neither of them have proved that you can customize your own sandal. And then the Rechaco program, like we said earlier, you can send back your Chaco and they can go through and make it better, or bring it back to life, so to speak, is what they call it. But Chaco has taken this concept, and they were the first to create it. And they have a facility in Colorado that you send your Chacos to, and it's just for rechacoing, is what they would call it. And I think Tevas is slowly initiating this idea, but it's nothing that Chaco has already developed and gone through. And that's why they live by the mantra, healthy feet, healthy body. And so they're creating something that can get you moving, and that's their goal. But there are a lot of things that Chaco can do better, like tailoring to sports. They're an outdoors oriented brand, so there are tons of things that the sports world could offer to them that they could just bring to, and that to prove that the brand and the products work, they could do things with rafting and kayaking, because keeps your feet dry, it keeps everything clean, and just proves that the products worked in comparison to other products that are there. creating a charitable foundation. This is something that no other brand in the market's done. They all sponsor someone that has a value that they have. So creating a charitable foundation would definitely distinguish Chaco even further than what they already are. And then cutting costs. I feel like this was a main one for consumers, because a consumer looks at it and says, oh, wow, there's not a lot here. Why is this worth $110? That's because the quality. But a consumer's not going to realize that whenever they say, I can go buy a pair of Tevas for $70 and then it'll last me half as long. They don't realize that quality there. So maybe pulling that price down and acknowledging that consumers think about quality would be my recommendation. So I hope you learned something about Chaco's brand, and I hope that you'll take these into consideration if you're building your own brand. Distinguish yourself, and that's really a huge part of what we're all supposed to do in our Christian lives. That we're all supposed to distinguish ourselves. We're different from the world. That's a huge thing that's described in the Bible, that we're not to conform to the ways of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So hope you guys take this and learn something from it, and overall just take Chacos and take life and live better is what they would like to put it as. So hopefully you learned something from this, and thanks for watching.